Good morning, everyone. Knowledge is a commodity to be shared, and for knowledge to pay dividends, it should not remain the monopoly of the selected few. Hence, to share this knowledge and implement it, we have before us Dr. Venkatesh M., Associate Professor, Department of ECE, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, to give us a demonstration on simulation modeling using IntelliSuite. I welcome you, sir, to this session.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, all the participants. So today, I think this is the last session of the FDP. So this is particular session is based on how we can fabricate the photonic structures using IntelliSuite tool. And the one more tool is how can we go for the optical characterization using interconnect tool. So this is mainly related to the fabrication and the optical characterization or optical response analysis. Let us start the session. So before starting the session, so I would like to acknowledge my research supervisor, Dr. Narayan K. He always motivates us to do the fabrication. So because of this, we could be able to learn some fabrication tools. So before going for the actual fabrication at IISc Sense. And always we have our good motivators from Indian Institute of Science, Dr. Gopal Hegde sir. He always encourages in his students or faculties. So he was associated with Sense earlier. So he helped us to fabricate some of the devices, so which are developed in our R&D lab. Okay, so some of the devices we have fabricated at the Sense. So with the help of Hegde sir and the technical team in Sense. And so in the IISc, we have photonics lab. So there always we can go for the characterization, optical characterization. So I am always thankful to Dr. T. Srinivas. So even though we are from private organization, always he allows students from private institutions. So sir won't give any restrictions. So we are blessed to have such people in the IISc to encourage research in photonics area. And very important, I would like to acknowledge Mr. Sripad Raja, the technology manager. He is working in IntelliSense. So he has provided me a trial version of this IntelliSuite license for this particular FDP. So these are the outlines of my presentation. Today I will be starting with the IntelliSuite tool. Okay. So now in this particular session, so I will be taking one simple SOI waveguide fabrication. See, for that, the very first thing we needed is we have to create one GDS file. I'll explain what is that GDS file and how to draw that GDS file. Okay, so this file is required in order to go for developing any mask during the fabrication process. So it is just a top view of whatever the structure we will be implementing in our research process. So next, after once the GDS file is created, so then we have to select the technology. Say if I want to develop any device on the SOI wafer. So there are already standard protocols are defined for how to fabricate any device using SOI wafer, or some other wafer is there. So we can search what is the fabrication process, and that steps we have to follow it. Just I'll give some overview of each of the steps before going for the actual processing steps. So then after that, I will be using one more tool, that is the interconnect. Okay, so in this IntelliSuite tool, we can fabricate the device, and we can see all the step-by-step fabrication process steps. So then we will be getting awareness of how the device can be fabricated in the clean room. Okay, so once the device gets fabricated, always so we will be interested to characterize our device. So in the labs, so it is one, I can say it is one virtual lab where we can simulate our model. That means whatever the model we are developing in either numerical FTTD or numerical mode tool, so that we can export it as a device, and that always we can use it as one of the component in the interconnect. Then for that we can connect some source and detectors, and always we can get the response of the device. So it may be from the optical spectrum analyzer, or it may be from the power meter. So we can always check that particular readings. So before going for the actual fabrication. See, these tools plays very, very important role whenever we are going for the device level. See, always we should not stop our research at only the simulation level. We have to take it into the product level. So for that particular purpose, so these are the very important tools, so where we can look into. And always this fabrication simulation results, always we can include it in the last section of our FDP, that is any papers. Okay, so just so this is one SOA waveguide fabrication process steps. So because these are the steps I have to include. So while defining the process steps in the simulation tool. So first thing is I have to define what is the technology or what is the wafer I'm going to select. Okay, so if I want to develop any silicon based waveguides, it may be any of the photonic components like normal simple channel waveguide or buried waveguide or any directional couplers. So whatever it is, so if you are implementing that device on the silicon wafer, then always we can select this silicon wafer. Then we have to import the GDS file that we have already created using some tools. So that GDS file, it is mainly useful to create the top view. So based on that only, we can go for the etching and mask writing, all those things. Then if it is a normal clean room, so always when we are selected the wafer, so they will go for RCA cleaning. Since it is a simulation tool, so we can avoid this particular step, that is RCA cleaning. But when this simulation is to be run, then it will show some error. So RCA cleaning is required after the definition of SOI wafer. Okay, so then after that, the next step will be we have to deposit the deposition of the mask. So some photoresist we have to take before going to actually etch the actual device on that particular. That means we have to write the entire pattern of the device on the top layer of your wafer. So for that, so for etching, so directly we cannot etch directly. So we need one photoresist for that. So first we have to take some photoresist. So we have to deposit on the top layer of the silicon. So that photoresist can be positive photoresist or negative photoresist, that we have to clearly define while using this particular process. So then after that, we have to use this particular step called as lithography. Okay, so this is E-beam lithography. So we have to expose that mask to the laser. Okay, so then depending on the mask and your GDS file, only that particular layer will be exposed to the EV. Then we can go for the etching of the unwanted region, so that we can get the clear structure after fabrication. So usually the etching process that is used in SY wafer is so reactive ion etching process. So that I will explain. So while doing that particular process, the theory is that we can always refer it. Then once etching is done, okay, so then we have to remove the photoresist that is already deposited on the top layer of the device using a process called as lift-off process. So that means I have to clearly define all this process. So in the fab simulation tool. Okay. So these are the actual steps I am going to do. So now I will close this PPT. So I will open one more window. Yes, so this is the IntelliSuite tool. You can see it here. So in this, actually, we have many modules within this. With respect to the fabrication is concerned. Okay, so what we have to do, first I want to create a GDS file. In order to create the GDS file, so we will use a module called as a blueprint. So that means in this particular blueprint, I am going to create, or I am going to draw what is the top view of the device layer. That device means only the top layer. So only the top view we have to draw it in the blueprint. Okay. Then once the it is created, the top view is created. So we can save that file. So that file will be saved in the format of .gds. So this is the file anybody is wanted to fabricate the device in the any lab. So usually it will be done in the clean rooms. So whenever you are going for the fabrication, so you have to draw the blue, that is the GD, we have to create the GDS file with very careful attention. So if one dimension goes wrong, so entire whatever the fabrication process they are doing like 1 week time or 2 weeks time, that entire time goes waste. So because this is a very perfectly we have to do it, that top view of the any device. So I will take one simple example for how to draw the top view of any of the photonic devices. That same technique you can use it for any of the complex structures. Okay, that GDS file. Then I have to use one more tool called as IntelliFab. So here you can see that IntelliFab is there. Okay, so I have to open this IntelliFab. Then first thing I have to do it is I have to load the GDS file that is created using Blueprint. Okay, so that will be the top view. Then almost the remaining steps, so that are I am going to define in the IntelliFab itself, that you can see one by one. So first I have to select what wafer I have to select. So I am going to select the SOI wafer. Then I have to load the GDS file that is created using Blueprint. So then after immediately what I have to do, so I have to deposit one photoresist on the top layer. So then after that I can expose that particular photoresist to the UV. Then I can etch the unwanted silicon material that is not needed for our top view purpose. That is based on the your blueprint of the that is GDS file. It will be done. So then we can remove it by using a process called as reactive ion etching. After etching process, so then we will get actual top view. Above that, you will be having photoresist also, and the remaining unwanted material will be etched out. Then finally, we have to remove the photoresist by using a process called as lift-off process. So once we remove that particular photoresist, then your device will be ready. So that can be taken for your research purpose, or you can compare that particular result, so whether it is accurate or not. And we can view the so many views, orthogonal view, we can view side views, and we can go for the cross section also. So usually whenever we do the fabrication, at each and every step they will go for scanning electron microscopy, so that images are needed. So they are surface electron microscopy images, they are high resolution images. So at each and every step they used to do that particular SEM images, and we have to say it is perfect, it is correct, then only they will proceed with the next process. So next, once the fabrication is done, so then we have to measure the dimensions. So for measuring dimensions, we need the cross section of the device. So one device, what they will do, purposefully they will cut the device and they will measure what is the depth of the waveguide that is produced, what is the overall length, all the dimensions they will indicate, they will clearly indicate. Okay, and that dimensions we can use it in the our research paper to show that our device has been fabricated. So once everything is perfect, then only we will go for the optical characterization, or some characterizations we have to do it, so to test the device. So that is different part. Okay, so now let us go for creating using this particular blueprint. So for a simple channel SOI waveguide. So for that particular purpose, so let us have one simple channel waveguide. So just I will draw one simple channel waveguide.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, so what we can do it is, first we can select the coordinates. Okay. So because in the blueprint, whenever I open the blueprint, so first it will show the blank screen. So where we can imagine your coordinate systems. So if it is a silicon waveguide, so what we can do it is, so if it is SY wafer, the bottom layer will be the silicon. So this is your bottom layer. Okay, that is a SI. The next layer will be oxide layer. So always this thickness will be more. So the thickness will be, it is up to 5000 micrometers will be there. So if you look at the standard SY wafer, the middle layer will be the buried oxide. So this will be available with 1 to 2 micron range, 1 to 2 micron range. So always we choose 2 micron to avoid the leakage into the cladding region. So this is your buried oxide layer. And the top layer is, it is the small thickness will be there. So this thickness will be around 220 nanometer. So we have wafers with 220 nanometer as well as 200 nanometer. See the top layer. So this is your top layer of the SOI substrate. Okay. And always the middle layer will be oxide layer, and the bottom also it is a silicon layer. So whenever the dimensions are very large for any photonic circuit, always we will develop the device on the bottom layer. So if the dimensions are in nanometer, okay, then always we can go for developing the device on the top layer of the silicon. So that's why it will be having two phases. One is smaller dimension, it will be in the nanometer range. Okay, so we have up to 200 to 200 nanometer. So if your device thickness falls in this particular range, always we can choose this particular substrate. On the oxide layer, we will be developing the entire device. So if your device dimensions, it will be in microns. So 5000 microns means it is almost, it is 5 millimeters. So it will be in the millimeter range. So if the device dimensions are large, then we can go for developing the device on the bottom layer. So we have both the options. Okay. So now, so if I consider one simple channel waveguide, so now you can see, so this is your horizontal axis. I cannot say this is X, Y, and Z. Just I will mention this is horizontal and this is vertical. Okay, and this is the depth axis. So this third axis is the depth. Now, my device, let us say it is a nanoscale. So I am developing the entire device on the buried oxide layer. So this is a buried oxide means silicon oxide or silica, or we can call it as glass substrate. So let me take that glass substrate. Okay. So on the glass substrate, let us say I want one channel waveguide to be created using silicon. So let us say the thickness of this channel waveguide is 220 nanometer. So what is the thickness? So this thickness is 220 nanometer thickness, and this material is silicon. So this material is silicon, and I am going to develop this on the oxide substrate. So this is the top layer, and this is your glass substrate, or I can say it is silicon oxide or silica layer. And I told this silica is available with two different thicknesses. One is 1 micron, other one is 2 micron. Always we have to go for higher thickness of the oxide for to avoid the leakage into the substrate. Okay, so now this is your front wave, but when you want to create the GDS file, I want a top view of the three-dimensional wave. Let us say now I want this particular waveguide to be of length, let us say some 10 micrometers. So then this particular third axis I have to extend it. Okay, so then if I extend this, then I can draw the 3D geometry like this. Okay, so this is your length. I can say this is the length of the waveguide. So in the same way, I can extend the waveguide also like this. Okay, so waveguide thickness will be same. Yes, so this is the channel waveguide. So yeah, so now if you look at this particular structure from the top, so now from the top, so say suppose if I take this as width, okay, this has height, and this particular axis has length. So now the length is represented by say some axis. Let us say it is X axis, and let us say the width is Y axis, and the height is Z axis. So we have three-dimensional axis now. Now, if you look from the top view, so now which particular view we can see? So we can see the this particular dimension, that is the width of the waveguide. So this is the width of the waveguide we can see from the top. Okay. Apart from that, I can see what is the overall length of the waveguide. So apart from this, I can see what is the overall length of the waveguide. So from the top, if you see, the width will be visible. So this will be the width. Okay. So the width, say, suppose if I want the width to be some 0.5 micrometer, the width is 0.5 micrometer. And the thickness of the waveguide is, let us say, 220 nanometer. That will be fixed as per this SY standard waveform. Now this is your width. So I can see from the top. So this width is visible. So that will be the one of the axis in the GDS file. And one more is what is the overall length of the waveguide we wanted. Say, let us say I want some 10 micrometer long waveguide. Okay, then I can say this is the waveguide I wanted. Okay, so this is overall length. So this length. So we need not to define what is the thickness of the silicon waveguide. The reason is already the SY wafer is available. We are developing the device on the 220 nanometer thickness silicon. So if the device dimension is still smaller than the 220, or then we can etch out some portion of the silicon using the RIE process, then we can reduce it. So this is the maximum thickness available. So this thickness always, now I am selecting the same thickness as the height of this channel waveguide. So now this particular geometry, we have to create it in a tool called as Blueprint. So this is only the two-dimensional wave. In this two-dimensional wave, we have to see only the width and what is the length of the structure we wanted. We don't want the complete three-dimensional geometry. So most of the researchers, they may think GDS file creation is very difficult. Okay, so this is very easy. In fact, so we have to create only the top view. From the top, if you see, only we can see the two dimensions. One is what is the width and what is the overall length. That's all we can see. This one we have to create it using a tool called as Blueprint, which comes along with the IntelliSuite. So it is just one rectangle. Just have to define what is the width and what is the length. Now, if I select a rectangle geometry in the Blueprint, okay, that just you can drag rectangle anywhere on the screen, but so it will ask what is the center point of the rectangle and what is the width and what is the length. It will ask, say I want this particular rectangle to be started from the 0. I want the length to be, say it is 10 micrometer, and the height is, let us say it is the width of the waveguide is how much? 0.5 micrometer. Now, can any one of you, can you tell me the center point for this entire rectangle? So center along this length axis, we have total length as how much? 10 micron. The midpoint is 5 micrometer. So this is the midpoint along one of the axis, that is the length axis. Then what is the midpoint for this width? So we have the width of how much? 0 to, let us say we are starting from the center 0, 0, and this is 0.5 micrometer. And this height will be how much? The exact height will be exactly, it is 0.5 micrometer. I want center point of this. So this is the point it will ask whenever we are creating a rectangular structure. Now this particular point coordinates are, so along the length direction, the dimension is 5 microns. Okay, along the width direction, this is midpoint of 0.5 micrometer. It is 0.25. Yes, so it is 5, 0.25. Then I can say the overall width it will ask. I will say width as 0.5, and it will ask what will be the height also. So width and height it will ask. Then I will give this dimensions. I want total waveguide length of 10 micrometer and with the height of 0.5. So this dimensions I will give. So I think this is clear to all of you. This is the GDS. In the GDS one, I have to create only this two-dimensional view. Finally, if I complete the fabrication process, you will see this particular channel waveguide. Now, these dimensions you have to remember. So the midpoint of the centroid of this particular geometry is 5, 0.25 micrometers. Both are in micrometer scale. And I want the total width to be 0.5. and the length to be how much? It is 10 micron. So always in that Blueprint tool, the horizontal axis is the length, the vertical axis is the width. So that you have to remember. So if you know this much, then you can use the Blueprint to create the GDS file for any photonic structure. So already I have created the Blueprint, but let me close this. So now, so this is the Blueprint window. Whenever you open that Blueprint, so you can see one blank screen. So now you can select one new file. So the moment you select the new file, so you can see this particular view. Okay, so this is in this particular screen, we have to create the top view of the device. So as I told, the top view, we can see only the width and what is the length of the waveguide. So now I told the geometry is rectangle. But before starting with this, so you should know some of the very important parameters as what is the scale range. So now this entire scale, now 1 unit is, so you can see so many dots here. So from one dot to any adjacent dot, the dimensions you can adjust according to the what is the device dimension we wanted. Since ours is in the microns range, I can select the each, that is the adjacent distance between any two dots is 1 micron. Okay, then you can see the 10 micron length in the 10 dots length and 0.5 micron in the half of this one, or 0.5. If you want to visualize it in the one between the two adjacent dots, I can select this as 0.5 itself. So now I wanted to create one rectangular geometry. The reason is the top view of the silicon waveguide is a rectangle. So it has a width of how much? 10. That is 0.5, and the overall length is 10. So let me take this. These are the various structures are available. For this particular example, see, we have, if you want to create one photonic crystal fiber, Already the circles are available. So many geometries are available. So just like in whatever the photonic simulation tool, however we create the geometries, so all the geometries are available, but here all the geometries are 2D because we want only the two-dimensional view, that is only the top view. Now let me select this rectangle. So first you can draw that rectangle anywhere on the screen. So whatever be the dimensions, just click here, you will get the rectangle. So then after that, you click on that rectangle. So just right click, okay, go to properties. Okay, now you can see the properties of this particular rectangle. As I told, first I have to mention what is a center. So this center we have to, we should have all these dimensions. So now I will start the structure from the origin, and the overall length is 5, and the width of the waveguide is 0.5 micrometer. So the center, this is a centroid for the entire geometry. So that will be along the x direction. So I want total 10 microns. So all these numbers are in microns. Okay, the moment you set it in microns, so all these dimensions, whatever we are writing here, it will be in microns. Along the length direction, the center will be 5. And along the y direction, that is a width. So we want 0.5 total. So the center for that 0.5 will be 0.25. So this is the coordinate of the centroid of this particular rectangle. Then I have to define what is the total width I wanted. Width means along the x direction, what is the overall width? This will be your length of the waveguide that you are going to get after the fab simulation. This length, if you want, if it is a normal waveguide, you can extend for up to some few hundreds of micrometers. Okay, so just for visibility purpose, I will restrict this the length of the waveguide to 10 microns, so it will look very nice. Okay, and the height, the total height, whatever I wanted is the total height I wanted is the height of the waveguide is it is 0.5. So now you can see that particular rectangle here, it is already created. So just let me expand this one. So then you can see this particular view. Yes. So this rectangle is created here. So this is started from the origin. Okay. So this along this lengthwise direction, because the dimensions are very small here. Okay. So therefore the structure looks very, very small. Okay. It is the overall length is 10 and the height is, it is just 0.5 microns. So usually that height will be the width of the waveguide, and this horizontal axis will be the length, the required length of the waveguide that we wanted to fabricate. Okay, so thickness we are not worrying. The reason is we are defining the process, that is silicon wafer. The whatever be the top layer thickness will be there, that we can adjust using that etching and removal process. So this file we can save it. So this file I can save. So save as I will save it here. So it is a 2D waveguide. So just I will replace this particular 2D waveguide. I will save this. Yes, so it is replaced. So this particular GDS file we have to import as a mask to fabricate the device. So based on this only, we will pattern the mask, and even the removal, everything can be done based on this particular structure. This is a very simple one. See, in the same structure, say if you are having one directional coupler. So directional coupler means two parallel waveguides. So what we can do, I can create one more rectangle like this by giving what is the gap between the or what is the parallel path, that is the perpendicular distance between the two waveguides. I can create one more rectangle like this, and I can place it here. Then if I load this particular mask for the same process, so you will get directional coupler, or yes, it is a parallel directional coupler. So if you have any ring resonator, you can, if you want two waveguides like this, so in between we can define this particular circle. So we will get the required radius of the circle. Okay, then we can go for fabrication of the ring resonators also. So like that we can place whatever the structures we wanted, and we can do the fabrication. So let me show this for one simple waveguide. Okay, so I have saved this particular file. So this job is done. So this file is called as GDS file. Okay, this is the required file. So anybody is wanted to fabricate the device. Just if you give this, so then they will do the remaining process, and you will get the final product after the fabrication is done. So I will close this particular blueprint. So now I will open. So now I think now I have come back to the IntelliSuite tool. So here we can see IntelliFab. Okay, so I have to open this IntelliFab. So here we have to define the process. So now since it is a silicon wafer, now we have to start with the initial process. So we are not doing any bonding. Okay, that will be already the first layer will be there. Next, first we have to define. So in this case, we have to define the what particular technology we are or what particular substrate we are using. So if you click here, so it will show all these are the standard technologies. So we can develop the device on copper, so glass substrate, indium phosphide, quartz, okay, resin, silicon, and silicon carbide. So we have already predefined process techniques for all this substrate. Now this particular device, it belongs to silicon family. Okay, so now in this I can select the SY. Okay, this is SY generic. If I click, so I will get the this is the first step in the fabrication process. Okay, so we have to select the wafer, on which wafer we are supposed to fabricate the device. It is a SY wafer. So the moment I define this, so you can see the standard parameters. So here I have to define what is the thickness of the film, what is the buried oxide film thickness, and what is the top SI thickness. Here we have the freedom to choose. So as per the laboratory dimensions is concerned, the top silicon film, so it is available with the 200 nanometer to 220 nanometer. So you can see these dimensions are in nanometer. It is clearly specified. Now here I can give the top SI film, that means the top silicon layer thickness as 220, and these dimensions are in nanometer. Okay. Now here I have to clearly define buried oxide. So now if I retain that 5000, your 220 nanometer thickness, it won't be visible after doing the fabrication. So even we have the buried oxide thickness with 1000 nanometer and 2000 nanometer. So now for fabrication purpose, in this particular the simulation tool, I will select 1000 nanometer. But when you are going for the real fabrication, always it is better to go for 2000 nanometer. Then I have to define what is the T film, that is thickness of the film. So this will be your bottom layer. So the bottom layer thickness, it will be always greater than the buried oxide film thickness. So if I give less than 1000, it will show the error. So it won't take. So always this the bottom layer should have more thickness compared to the buried oxide. So buried oxide I have given 1000. So let me give 2000 for the 2000 nanometer. That means in fact it is very less. So that bottom thickness will be up to some thousands of microns will be there. But just I am giving 2000 nanometer. It will be 2 microns. So I can see the device very clearly in comparison with the 220 nanometer. Okay, at least you can see the device in 1:10 range scale. So this I have defined. So now the SY wafer is defined. So then I can go for the next step. So first I have defined this, what is the wafer I am supposed to use. See, after this, the next, when you are selecting the wafer, so if it is a real fabrication, we will go for RCA clearing. Okay, that will be done in the clean room. So that step we can avoid it here because it is a simulation. Then after this, first I have to define now, once the wafer is selected, I have to set up what is the mask I wanted to load or what is the device I wanted. So you can go for this, click on this particular setup. Okay, you can select the die size. Okay, here we have to choose the what is the mask. So here there is an option called as choose. So you can click this. So that 2D waveguide, whatever I have created in the blueprint, so that file, it is available in the form of VEC file. Okay, this file is also called as GDS file. So this file we can load. So if I open, so this is your actually this is the top view. So here what we have to do it is, so the left and right side. So this we have to adjust exactly to the structure. But right and left side, we can have that oxide at the bottom. So it won't create any confusion after the fabrication. Otherwise, we will be having some gap at the input side and some gap at the output side. This left and right corners we have to adjust. So this top and bottom, so above that 2D layer, so we can have some wafers. This is the die size we are selecting. That means this much size we are going to get after the fabrication. So let it be the same size, or if you want some smaller dimension, just you can reduce it. But don't restrict the dimensions to the actual dimensions of the rectangle. Then you will get the entire device with only the 220 nanometer thickness and 500 nanometer. So you can't distinguish between is it a channel waveguide or not. Okay. So some oxide we are retaining after the fabrication also. So now I'll apply the settings, then click on OK. Okay. Then I have loaded the GDS file also. Then I can go ahead with the next process. So the next process is we have loaded the file. I cannot directly remove the unwanted silicon that is present apart from our actual structure. First, what we can do it is we can deposit the mask. Okay, deposition of the mask. So this will be, we have to properly select the compatible mask. So for this silicon etching is there is a mask called as a PRAZ5214. Okay, so you can see here PRAZ5214, and the technique also is defined, spin coating technique. Using this spin coating technique, so we can coat this particular material. So this is called as photoresist. Okay, so this photoresist we are coating with the technique called as spin coating on the top layer of the silicon, that is top layer of the SY substrate. This you can click. So now you can see the settings here. Now this is the deposition stage. So we are depositing one photoresist on the top layer of the silicon. So now you can select whatever the color you wanted here. So based on the visibility, whatever we wanted for our papers, we can select the required colors so that it may look some decent colors. Okay. And we can give what is the thickness of the deposition. So here already 300 nanometer thickness is available. So if you want to change it, you can change it to 200 nanometer, or if you want more, you can select it. So just let me select some 200 nanometer thickness of this particular photoresist. Okay. So now what happens is when I run the process, so on the top layer silicon thickness is 220 nanometer. Above that, so we will be depositing one photoresist that is called as AZ5214. That is a compatible photoresist for the silicon. Okay. It will be deposited with a thickness of how much? 200 nanometer. So this particular deposition will be done all over the die size. Always die size is fixed. So based on our GDS file, we have fixed that die size. For the entire die size, so we will be depositing this particular photoresist. So once the photoresist is defined, so you don't worry about all this remaining temperature, all those things. Okay, so this will be defined as per the industry standards. So it will be recorded. So this we need not to touch. Only thing is we have to worry about what is the thickness of the film. So that only we have to give. So remaining we should not disturb it. Okay. Then once this deposition is done, so then the next process is I have to expose this photoresist to UV. That means ultraviolet radiation. Okay. So now I have to expose the photoresist to the UV light, so that except the mask region is just a simple rectangle, and we have left side and right side, lot of dimensions are there. So we have to remove the portion which is not required for the channel waveguide. So that for that purpose, so first we have to expose this particular top layer, that is the photoresist, for the UV. So you can click on this exposure. Already the process is defined. It is UV. Okay, and technique is it is contact. Okay, so it is SUSS. This is the standard process. So the exposure technique is UV you are exposing, and it is this particular SUSS technique. You can select it, and you need not to change any settings in this particular exposure. But the one thing is it will ask you whether you want to leave the structure inside the selected mask or outside the selected mask. Okay, if I select outside the selected mask, except that channel waveguide, you will get that left and right portion. I want only the whatever the rectangle was there, that I want top portion. So we have to select this always. This is inside. Okay, this we have to know it. So if you select by mistake outside, instead of channel waveguide, what you will get except that channel. So the right and left will be there. Only that particular structure we will see. So this we have to select inside. So we are exposing the top view. Okay, and it will ask the mask number. So it will ask the mask number. So now here, so we have to clearly define. So while developing the mask, so I should have defined what layer. Okay, so now in that particular mask, I have not defined which layer, I think. So that's why it is not showing the layer 1 or layer 0. So now, so this is your actual blueprint. So here you can add the layers, because once you are exposing to the UV, say if you want to expose the photoresist or expose the top layer many times, then you may be having the different structures in the top layer device. So we can add n number of layers. Okay, so here you can add layer number 1, layer number 2, layer number 3. So by default, whatever the background you are seeing, that black color, that will be layer 0. So we should not develop any of the 2D top layer on the layer number 0. Always we have to create the new layers. So by clicking on this layer section, so I can select the new layer. So this color also we can choose. Okay. So then after that, in which layer I wanted that photoresist, that layer number 1, I can select and I can use it. So now you can see the layer 1 is selected, the same dimension. So I'll define this, I will draw a rectangle somewhere in the blueprint screen. Okay, so just right click this. So properties. So first I have to select the midpoint, the center as 5 and the Y thickness as 0.25 micrometers. The overall width I wanted is 10. Okay. And the height, whatever the height required is, it is 0.5 microns, 0.5 microns. So then we can click somewhere on the screen. Okay. So we can close this particular rectangle settings. So it is 5, 0.25, 10. Yeah. Yes, it is done. So now I will replace this particular file. So I'll overwrite on the same website. Yes. So now we can use this blueprint screen. So I come back to this particular same deposition here. So now I will once again reload that particular die size setup. Go to die size, and here we have to select the required file. So I have replaced the same file. Yes, this is the recent file. So you can open it. Apply. Okay. So now it is done. So now here you can see, so it will show which layer to see. On that particular blueprint, I have created 2 different layers. The 00 is a blank level, that is the background of the blueprint screen. So in the layer 1, we have that particular rectangle. So we can expose only the layer 1 geometry. So in the layer 1, we have whatever the waveguide we have created, the top view, that is there. Now this layer 1 will be exposed to UV. So then after exposing, so whatever be the technique we have chosen, so leave photoresist inside based on this. So it will retain only the waveguide section and it will expose all the remaining photoresist to UV and it will be evaporated. Okay, so now this step is done. So then we can go to the next step. After exposing to the UV, then we have to etch the silicon. So we have to etch out the unwanted silicon. So go to etch process. Then the material, so many materials are there here. So the material what we are going to etch is silicon. And the technique what we are going to use is reactive ion etching. So it is RIE. Okay. So here, that means the chemical process here it is, whatever the photoresist was there, it is already exposed to UV. Some temperature will be given. Okay. So it is done with the help of this chemical process, RIE etching. Okay, you can select it. If I double click, I'll get this one. So now it will ask with the process option whether it is a partial etching or it is the complete etching. So I will select this one as etch through the complete photoresist, and the side is the top view we are going to etch. And it will ask what is the thickness, only the thickness, how much thickness we have to etch out. Okay, the thickness of the film. The thickness of the silicon film, as I told, the top layer thickness is 220 nanometer. Only that particular dimension we can give. Okay, so remaining these are the actual parameters related to this particular etching process. So this they have to adjust in the clean room. So they will take care of this. So all these parameters they will take care. But when you are using this particular tool, you have to give what is the thickness of the silicon we wanted to etch. So if you want to retain some portion of the silicon, I wanted to etch complete 220 nanometers. So that is the reason I am giving 220 here. So if you want some thickness of the silicon, say I want only 20 nanometer, then I can etch the remaining 200 nanometer silicon. So then we will get the 20 nanometer thick will be retained after the etching process. So, but in this case, I am removing complete 220 nanometer thickness except the waveguide region. Okay. And the material what we are etching out is here, that PR agent is there, that is the photoresist we have selected, that will be automatically taken care by the software. So now this step is defined. Then I can go to, once it is etching is done, so then we will be having only the photoresist, waveguide, and the substrate as oxide. Below that your actual silicon will be there. So now we have to remove that, we have to etch out the photoresist also. Then again we have to define one more process called as etch out the unwanted, that is photoresist. So that once again I have to go to etch. I have to search that where is that PR agent photoresist is there. So here we can see PR agent 5214. Okay, so now the technique, etching technique is wet etching. Okay, this will be done in the wet room. Okay, so the process is called as lift-off process. So you can select that. Okay, so then here, so it will ask whether it is a partial etching or complete etching. So it is etch through because we are removing the complete photoresist, whatever it is there on the silicon waveguide, and the exposure layer is top layer. Okay, and the material on which the photoresist is present is silicon. That is already it is showing here. Okay, so now whatever the thickness we have shown there, so it is 200 nanometer I have defined for the photoresist thickness. That entire thickness we can indicate it. If you want to retain some portion of the photoresist for next stage of the etching process, we can retain it, but it is not needed now for this example. So now I have defined all the processes now. So these are the various process steps. So involved in the fabrication of one simple channel waveguide. You can see first we have to select the standard wafer. It belongs to the silicon family, that is SY wafer. Then we can create the GDS file, that is the top view of the actual structure using a blueprint. Okay, that can be loaded. So that will be the die size. Then we can first, before etching the actual silicon, first we have to deposit, deposit one photoresist. Okay, here the compatible photoresist is PR agent 5214. So it will be available in clean room also. Okay, then we have to expose that photoresist to UV. Then we can go for etching process. Okay, this is lithography. Okay, then etching process. So we have to etch out the unwanted silicon using a process called as RIE. Then after etching the unwanted silicon, then finally we have to remove the photoresist, that is that will be there on the actual waveguide using a process called as lift-off process. So it belongs to the wet etching technique. It is one of the wet etching technique. So now you can see once the layout of your actual blueprint, whatever we have loaded. So you can see here, this is the layout of your actual 2D. So based on this only the entire process will takes place now. Okay, now we can go for visualize. You can simulate your fabrication steps now. So there is an option called as a visualize. So visualize in fab simulation. Okay, so just if I click, then it will open the fab simulation. So it will show as virtual, your virtual clean room. Actually, this entire process has to be done in the clean room. So it is, we have in IISc class 1000 clean room. So there we can do this actual fabrication. So in IISc, there are, that is sense, we have two programs. One is the INUP Academy, one academic program is there, that is commercial. And one more is free, is that is INUP program is totally free. So any researchers interested, they can send the proposal. Then they can go for fabricating the device. It will be totally free. So now this is the starting wafer. I think, can you see this particular window, madam? You can see the entire SOI now.
So this window is visible, but another I don't know.
So now you can see this is the first step I have done. This is the definition of the SY. So your bottom layer thickness was, it is 2000 microns. Okay. Then the center is buried oxide layer, and the top also silicon, it is having 220 nanometer. So then we can go for in sequence. So first you can go to the next. Okay, then it will show the next step in the process. The next step what I have defined is the deposition of the photoresist. So now we can see when I go to the second step, it is clearly showing a deposition of PR agent 5214. Now you can see there is this photoresist is deposited on the entire die size. So that die size we have selected while loading the GDS file. Okay. Then after this, we have to expose this to UV. That is the next step. So this is the portion that is exposed. So now in that particular step, I have clearly mentioned expose inside. Inside means whatever the rectangle we have designed on the blueprint, only that particular rectangle, so it will be exposed to the UV. So remaining, so except this, the right and left will be exposed. So now the UV will fall on this particular photoresist. Okay, then it will, we can etch out this entire silicon. So now after this, the next step was etching silicon. Now you can see the moment I click that etch silicon, except this structure which is there inside the, or which is there below this particular photoresist. So the entire silicon, that is the left and right side of the waveguide, it was removed. You can clearly see the waveguide. So it is waveguide, and above this the photoresist is there. Now finally we can remove that photoresist by using lift off process. That is the last step I have defined. So if I click next, now you will get your all the steps whatever I have defined. So this is your channel waveguide. So like this, you can create any of the fabrication process. You can define it, and these fabrication steps we can always we can include it in our research papers. Okay. So now this entire process steps. So if you want to like if you want all the diagrams step by step. So this particular tool, it generates the files in the form of images, or it will load the files in the form of PPT. Okay, that always we can see. And once the fabrication is done, so always they'll ask us to go for the characterization, like what will be the thickness measurement, all those things. So here there are plenty of options are available. So you can measure what is the height or what is the thickness, everything we can indicate it. And even we can slice the device. Slice means at a certain point, we can cut the device. Then we can see clearly what is the depth at each and every point. So the slicers are there. Always the slicers also we can use, and we can measure the thickness of each of the layers. So usually that thickness measurement will be done in the by using atomic force microscopy, AFM characterization. So but in the tool we can use this slicer. Okay, so you cut this geometry anywhere you want. Then you can use this measure scale, and it will show you what is the exact measurement of the actual structure. If we measure that silicon thickness, it will be 2000, that is 1000 nanometer, and the bottom layer will be the 2000 nanometer. We are mainly interested in the top view dimension and the oxide dimension. That is very important for this waveguide. So now if you want to generate whatever the steps we have done it, so you can go to file. So we have series of, there are plenty of options are available. Okay, so now we can create a video of the same process steps, or you can go for that image sequence. Okay, or you can completely generate step-by-step images. Okay, so these are the various steps are available, or you can export that entire sequence to in the form of Microsoft PPT. Okay, so this entire sequence, whatever I have done it, so that entire process you can run once. So there is one option called as run. Entirely you can run it once. It will quickly, it will show all the results. Then you can go to file. So then you can generate this Microsoft PPT, or you can go for this image sequence. So this image sequence, it will give you, if I click on this image sequence, so it will generate all the images step by step. So this is the first example. So it is showing the first step, whatever you have defined. So all this entire images, we can use it. Okay. So like this, we can fabricate any of the devices using this particular IntelliSuite tool. Okay, there are plenty of other structures also available. So now I'll show you one more complex structure where we can see the fabrication of photonic crystal cavities. This is the process steps on the same silicon wafer. It is defined for photonic crystal cavity. So you can see the layout here, the 2D layout of the blueprint. So here you can see the 6 circles. That means we are going to create a photonic crystal cavity with this particular pitch, and this is the radius, so that anyhow we can create it in this blueprint. So now these are the process definitions. Now this is the PC cavity fabrication. This process definitions we are defined. You can see there are a series of etching processes, because so whenever you go for the photonic crystal cavity, so we wanted to retain some portion of the cavities or some materials. We have to diffuse it. So all the various process techniques are defined here. So if I go to visualize and if I run this fab simulation, Now, can you see the screen, madam? This is a simple glass substrate.
Yes,
On
sir.
the glass substrate, we are going to create that photonic crystal cavity. So I will run the entire sequence steps. Okay, so just I have clicked on the run. Since it is a trial version, I think it is showing you are not having enough memory. So it is running all the sequential steps. Just I'll complete this simulation. Okay, so for this example, so I think my laptop is not having enough memory to simulate it. Okay, it is not showing. Now, so you can generate some of the files like, yes. This file we can always generate by using the same tool. So this is some of the fabrication results, so that we have already published in some of the papers. So this is the fabrication of three ring resonators. So one reviewer commented that some fabrication results we have to include it. So we can't do it real fabrication, at least we can do it in the tool. Okay, so here that the GDS file was created and the entire process steps was done. So there, instead of importing the images in the sequence, so there is an option called as PPT. So this PPT will be automatically created by the same software, and it will give us the step-by-step result. So this is the final product. So the first step, first we will define that SY substrate, and it will show us clearly what is the actual substrate we have taken. The substrate is the silicon family SY, and the substrate thickness it will show, because this on this substrate only we are developing the entire top layer. So here I have selected 2 micron thickness silicon, that is the oxide layer, and above that the device layer is same 220 nanometer. Then the next step, so you can see the next slide. So we have deposited one photoresist on this particular top layer. Then after that, it is exposed to the UV. The moment we expose to the UV, it will ask whether you want to export inside or outside. In this case, the inside region was exposed. Okay, so now you can see the photoresist which is deposited on the 3 rings, and the parallel waveguides are there. So after this, what we will do? We will do the etching process. So once we do the etching process, it will remove all the silicon except the 3 rings and the 2 parallel waveguides. So then if we remove that photoresist, then finally we will get this final product, that is the 3 rings with 2 parallel waveguides. So then after that, it will show each by step in the step, what is the photoresist details, okay, the entire summary. So which layer was, what is the type of the photoresist. So it is a negative photoresist, so it is a leaf photoresist inside, that is the settings we have taken. That entire step-by-step result it will show. And these results we can always use to present it, how we have generated that fabrication results. And we can crop these images, and this one by one we can show step by step in our research papers as a fabrication process steps. And whatever the technological details available in the tool, that entire technical details we can include it while explaining this fabrication steps. So just here, whatever I wanted to etch out, only that dimensions I given, but actually what is the actual chemical reaction, it will be done in the RE process. So that entire reaction you can include it while writing the paper. Yes, madam. So from the I can stop my presentation at this particular point. So still some more tools are there for characterization purpose. That means optical characterization. The tool called Intelli, that is suite is there. So there we can go for interconnect. That tool can be used for the optical characterization.
Okay. So same thing, whatever we have done this one, the model,
Yeah.
we can give some input and also test it, no sir? That is the
Yes. That is this is fabrication, madam. Then what we can do in the numerical FTTD, there is an option called as export. That entire device, it may be a solar cell, or it may be a OLED, or it may be a waveguide. That entire parameters we can export it as a file that can be imported to the one of the geometry in the interconnect. That may be a scattering parameters, or it may be a waveguide, whatever I told yesterday, all the parameters. That entire parameter will be exported. That entire file we have to load for the one of the user-defined object in the interconnect. Then whatever the features are there for the entire object, that is structure we have developed in the FTTD, that same parameters will be taken. Then we can launch the light, and we can go for either spectrum analysis, or we can go for power analysis. All that we can do it in the interconnect, that is interconnect tool.
Participants, you have any questions? You can put forward.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, I have designed a grating-based waveguide structure in Limerical.
Yes, madam.
Can I import, as you said, can I export that geometry into interconnect, and I can do all this, whatever steps you have shown here?
This is, you need not to export that. You have to create only the top view. So in fact, in one of my paper that is published in Photonics Journal, so there I have also done the grating geometry, but using this software, I have designed this entire fabrication flow steps, and that section I included one of the section in my research paper. That can be done easily. The only thing is that the blueprint you have to create that top view. The top view we can load. I think the device, whatever you have told, that can be easily designed on the SY substrate.
Okay. Do we get 1 month trial of this software?
This we have to request, I think, Sripad Raja sir. So he will give 1 month trial license.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Participants, any more questions? Okay, if there are no questions, thank you, sir. Thank you for that elaborate explanation on the stepwise fabrication process. You have given a very wonderful lecture on this. We are new
Thank you,
to
madam.
this kind of tool. You
Yeah.
have exposed
So
us.
thank you for including this fabrication lecture at the end of this FDP. At
Yes,
least,
sir. Yes, sir. It was very
even in your research papers also, if you include the last section as fabrication, so it will be
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. Actually, when I approached you, you only gave the idea, sir. Actually, you said you'll
Yeah.
be discussing on that. It has helped us a lot actually. For
Yes.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.